Okay, if you export food to the European Union, you're going to want to listen up. A critical new mandate for export health certificates is now in effect, and not complying has some pretty immediate consequences. So let's break down what's just changed, because it's a big deal.
And look, this isn't some warning about something down the road. This is the reality right now, today, at EU borders. A major deadline has passed, and if you're not ready for it, your next shipment will be rejected. So what's happened is a major regulatory shift has just kicked in. It's basically created a new compliance wall for any products trying to get into the European Union. The grace period? That's over. The rules of the game have literally changed overnight. Now, what you really have to understand is that this isn't just some minor tweak to the paperwork. No, this is a fundamental change that impacts all food products of animal origin, and it's being enforced at EU border control posts as we speak. It all boils down to one absolutely critical document, the Export Health Certificate, or EHC. Let's really dig into what it is and why it's suddenly the only key you have for getting into the EU market. The easiest way to think about the EHC is as a legal guarantee. It's an official document, it goes from government to government, and it's signed by an official veterinarian. It's what certifies that your products are safe and meet the EU's incredibly high standards. Without the right one, you are stopped cold at the border. And this document really does two key jobs. On the one hand, there's animal health. It proves your products are free from contagious animal diseases. On the other hand, there's public health. It's the official word that your food was produced in a facility the EU approves of and that it's safe for people to eat. It's a full-on check. Okay, so why is this so urgent right now? Well, it all comes down to the timeline. A grace period that's been in place for a long time has just run out, and that means the certificates that were perfectly fine just last month are now completely useless for new shipments. And just to be crystal clear, that critical date, it's already gone. November 19th was the absolute last day an old certificate could be signed by an officer. So as of today, any new shipment you send must use the new EHC models. That window to use the old forms has officially slammed shut. All right, so who needs to be paying extra close attention? Well, if you export any of these products, you are directly in the line of fire. We're talking about composite products, think of a lasagna. We're talking honey, gelatin, and all processed meat, dairy, and egg products coming from outside the EU. And let me tell you, failing to comply isn't a small slap on the wrist. The consequences are swift, they're severe, and they are very, very expensive. This is exactly where a simple paperwork error can absolutely cripple your entire supply chain. And here's the absolute kicker. Any shipment that shows up with the wrong, outdated EHC model has a 100% chance of being rejected at the EU border. There's no gray area, no wiggle room here. If the paperwork isn't perfect, the shipment does not get in, period. And rejection, that's just the start of the nightmare. Your shipment will either be destroyed or it'll be sent all the way back, and guess who pays for that? You do. That causes total chaos for your logistics and your cold chain, and that's not even mentioning the financial penalties and the damage it does to your contracts with your EU partners. Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it's serious. But the good news is there is a clear way forward. So let's switch gears and walk through a 4-step action plan that you need to put into motion right now to get your shipments secure. Okay, here's what you need to do, step by step. First, immediately audit all your shipments, the ones in transit and the ones waiting to go out, and see which certificate they have. Second, you have to identify the exact new EHC model for your specific product. A generic one is not going to cut it. Third, go and double-check that your production facility is currently on the official EU-approved list. And finally, and this is huge, you need to update all your internal procedures and train your teams. Everyone from QA to logistics has to understand this new process now. The bottom line is this. If you want to secure your sales for the first quarter of next year and prevent these catastrophic shipment failures, it all depends on your quality assurance, regulatory, and export teams taking these actions immediately. There's just no time to wait. So yeah, follow these steps and you'll solve this immediate crisis. Your Q1 shipments will be secure. But it kind of leaves you with a much bigger question, doesn't it? Because this won't be the last major regulatory change. The real question you should be asking is how ready is your supply chain for the next one?